Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsinentertainment, and welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation, but most importantly, please share this video. Let everyone know that there's a community out there where we can talk about all the things that we love. Today on Throwback Thursdays, not so much of a throwback, but it's Thursday and it's review day. We're looking at one of the newest DC animated movies, Batman: Death in the Family. And what's so interesting about this particular movie is that it is interactive. Now, just reading the back of the movie, it leads you to think that there are three choices. And before I get to that, let me just get into a brief history of Death in the Family. Unfortunately, I'm not really a comic book reader. I only know from what other people tell me and what I've consumed through other movies. I'm going to have to Google this and put it up in post. But I believe in the 80s or so, maybe the 90s, Jason Todd is the second Robin. But the fan base, for the most part, did not like Robin. And DC gave them the choice. It was a write-in vote, I believe. Keep Jason Todd alive or kill Jason Todd. And the fans who wanted Jason Todd dead outweighed the ones who wanted him alive. So you get the comic Death in the Family. And I think, because I haven't read it, I'm pretty sure that's what they tell in this animated movie, Death in the Family. If you just watch what was done in the comics, because you have that choice, and that's the first choice I went with. And I'm going to talk about that one more in depth because it's more of a well-known story, and I don't want to spoil any other choices out there because there are so many of them. Really, if you just watch Death in the Family and take the choices that are in the comic, it's only a half-hour movie. But if you take all the choices that are available in this movie, first off, when you start watching it, it gives an introduction of how to do the choice. It's pretty straightforward. But it also tells you there are 7 alternate endings. I watched them all. And they make it easy too. You don't have to rewatch everything over and over again. When the credits roll, it always gives you an option to go down to which choice you want to go to, which is really, really cool. So I highly recommend that you get it on Blu-ray so you can watch it on interactive. So this Saturday on the podcast, I have Walt back on. We talk about Wonder Woman 1984 and more. And part of that more was Death in the Family. Walt saw it on, what is it, HBO Max? And it only shows the Death in the Family part. There's no interactive part on HBO Max. I got to see the interactive. I saw all the endings. This is a psychological roller coaster that you go on because you get to choose so many different ways that this story can go. But, like I said, and I know I have a trouble of being sidetracking myself on other different topics. But at least it's within the same topic of Death in the Family. I'm focusing on the original story of Death in the Family. So the fans chose for Jason Todd to die. Well, DC Comics decided to take that somewhere. They brought Jason Todd back as the Red Hood. And I didn't know how they did that exactly. And I won't go into any more spoilers than that, but wow, just the story of Death in the Family and Jason Todd becoming the Red Hood, really, really good psychological story. I love psychological stories. Batman has some of the best out there. Actually, they are the best, in my opinion. Because that's basically all Batman is, really. It's how much can the human mind take, and Batman is supposed to be the pinnacle of normal men. Meaning, he doesn't have powers. He strictly has his wits and his physical strength. And that's what makes Batman so great. And that's what makes his stories of not only him, but his teammates, Robin, all the iterations of Robin, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian. You also have Barbara Gordon, Carrie Kelly. I think she's only in Elseworld, though, with Frank Miller's version of Batman. But they're all great psychological stories, and all the villains of Batman are great psychological studies across the spectrum. However, the thing I did not like about watching the traditional or the original Death in the Family, Bruce is narrating the entire time, when they should have, in my opinion, just done show, don't tell. Just Show us the story. Don't, because the entire time they're hiding who he's talking to, but we all know, he's talking to Superman, he's talking to Clark Kent, he's talking to Kal-El. We all know that. I don't know why they have to reveal who he's talking. We know who he's talking to. They could have done snippets, like maybe a sentence, and then go into visually showing us what happened, but no, it's Bruce narrating almost step for step what happened to Jason. And I didn't like that. I'm glad not all the choices are like that. In fact, the original choices going through are the ones like that. That's it. That's why I like the choices better. There's narration for the choices, yes, but there's more showing us what's going on than there is just plain out telling us. So, as I mentioned about halfway through this review, I highly recommend you get this on Blu-ray, mostly for the choices, not for necessarily the death in the family, the original story. I'm not even sure how close this is to the comic, but it's probably closer than, I don't know. I don't know how close this story is, or how close Under the Red Hood is to the original comic. But the choices in here are fascinating. And as I mentioned again, they make it easy to go back and forth with the choices, because each time the credits roll, you can go back to a previous choice. You don't have to watch the beginning all over again. I thought I was going to have to do that. And I thought I was going to have to do it 3 times, because on the back it just mentions there are 3 things you can do. You can kill Robin, which is the comic book version. You can have Robin cheat death, or you can have Batman save Robin. Those are the 3 choices they give you. And then there's multiple choices after that, depending on which one of those you take. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts if you have seen Batman Death in the Family. And what are your thoughts on Under the Red Hood? I still haven't seen that. I know out of all the DC animated movies I have, most of them being Batman, I don't have that one. But please let me know your thoughts on that. And if you were one of the people to write into DC when they were asking about Jason Todd, should we keep him alive or should we kill him off? Please let me know in the comments below your experience with that. Maybe you didn't write into it, but what was your experience just knowing you had that choice to write in? And what was it like seeing the reveal of DC's choice? Well, the fans' choice, I should say. Please let me know. That'd be fascinating to learn from someone that lived it. As I mentioned last week, I had 2 choices that I was going to go with. I decided to go with Batman Death of the Family. That means next week is going to be Gina Carano's first movie, Haywire. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.